Hey, it's not the Beatles channel. It's the Bennington Show, the world's only father-daughter radio show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington, also known as the Fifth Beatle.
That's you?
Yeah. My cousin had a Beatles lunchbox that, if she would have kept it in mint condition, would be worth almost $42,000 today.
Too bad she put her lunch in that.
I don't know why she did. It was a $42,000 lunchbox, and what did she do? She threw ham and cheese. Bam, bam. They act like if you saved anything from when you were a child, you could retire now. You could retire no matter how old you are.
And yet, you look up stuff all the time, and they're just like, how to declutter your home and get rid of that old stuff.
Throw out money. Throw all the money out of your wallet. It's worthless. Anything Beatles is worth a lot of money, but, you could have sat around and saved stuff, could have saved Dave Clark 5. It's probably not worth as much.
Yeah, but also, I feel this nostalgia-based culture we have, it's probably even more so. Like, I don't think, our grandparents thought of stuff like this because they would be like, that's an old thing. Get rid of that.
Well, my grandparents did not have the spare time to be nostalgic. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were too busy working on the highways and byways of this great land. But it is true. You're right about that. I don't think they sat around and went, oh, here's an old plow from when I was a child.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were basically like, well, first of all, they were like this. I'm 40 and I just found out I have a terrible disease.
Well, you lived a good long life. So.
My grandparents also didn't have lunch boxes. My parents didn't have lunch boxes. I was pretty much the first generation that had food to take to school with them.
Excess food.
Yeah.
It could be eaten throughout the day.
And I remember I would hear, because my parents were Depression babies, and they would talk about not having stuff, and I'd be sitting there eating marshmallow fucking frosty fucking cereal flakes going like this. I had to blow. We don't have any root beer, Mom. What are you, a dick? Now, the lunchbox thing, I don't know if there's anything more in life than you could that you could judge a child by other children than lunchboxes. Now, in my school, fine to carry a lunchbox in first grade. Fine to carry a lunchbox in second grade. Carry one in third grade, you're either a girl or a homosexual. That's what people decided. A boy could not go carrying a lunchbox in third grade.
I'm going to tell you, years later, and also different state, different area, that was the exact age where anybody still hanging on to the lunchbox concept. They could have an adult lunchbox at that point where it had
a Herman Munster, just a giant black lunchbox.
They could have nothing exciting about it. It could be one of those ones with Velcro on it and crap, or you're just brown bagging it, which is what I did. But again, preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, totally acceptable.
I spent more time picking out my lunchboxes than I did picking out a car later in life.
It was such a serious purchase. Although I will say I had one in preschool that I wasn't aware that there was a social standard with it. So that was not one well thought out. And then later I was like, I'm really going to make sure my next one is good.
So what years are you going to remember your lunchboxes?
I can remember all of them.
Okay,
but
let's go through.
Preschool is kind of a dud. I had a McDonald's lunchbox, so it had Ronald McDonald and all the characters.
That seems pretty cool. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having that.
Having all the characters. But then I started to realize other people had shows and stuff they would watch and stuff, and I'm just this is a restaurant I enjoy attending.
You know what would have been great if you would have had a burger and fries in there.
not so funny now, is it?
All right, so you weren't happy with that.
That one, like, I was happy with it when I got it, but when I got to school and saw some of the other razzmatazz other people were walking around, I was just like, I have a restaurant's lunchbox. This is a little bit strange.
It wasn't like it was an Applebee's. All right, so that was preschool.
That was preschool.
Kindergarten, what did you have?
Kindergarten was a very exciting purchase for me. Took a long time to decide, but I went with Ninja Turtles, which was like I got a lot of cred from the boys for not having a girls' lunchbox. It was for boys. I thought it was gender neutral, but they were very like, hey, that's pretty cool. You got a boys' lunchbox. And I was like, I think we all enjoy Ninja Turtles.
The funny thing, when I was younger, I think there was only boys' lunchboxes, and then the girls had a plaid lunchbox. Here, this is nice and plaid for you.
Nice pattern.
Yeah. All right, so that was kindergarten. First grade, do you remember?
I think that first grade, I might have carried that over, and then halfway through first grade, I think I switched up, which became my first grade / second grade lunchbox, which I was incredibly excited about. And that was a Lisa Frank lunchbox. I went hyper femininity in the opposite direction. Masculine lunchbox at first. And
Look it up, see if you can find it, Chris.
Lisa Frank was the artist who did things like neon kitty cats and killer whales. And
that was one of those explosions where someone just figures out what little girls want and makes $1 billion off of it. You had the Lisa Frank. My grandmother had the Anne Frank. It was a whole different time.
God, that's not a fun
And there was
lunchbox.
a hidden spot there for a banana.
So then when some bully came over, you're like, no, I don't have any pudding.
In a little while, we're going to... There is the tasty dessert treats. Perhaps a cookie, some Jell-O. Oh, that pudding that tastes so good in the mouth and going down the throat. Stanley, are we announcing the Unmasked for next week, or
Yes, we are.
you want to announce it today?
Yes, we should announce it today.
All right, we're going to announce within the next 5 minutes. It's so exciting that I'm the producer of the show, and I have to remember these things. And this one should be, because we're going to be doing one in about an hour. We're going to play you a lovely interview, and then we'll be back. But next, what day? Monday?
It's Monday, February 5th.
At
5 p.m. Here at the Sirius XM studios. Unmasked with Nikki Glazer.
Yeah!
Wait. Chris, I just said that I was going to announce it in 5 minutes.
No.
And when did you steal the Nikki Glazer from me?
I apologize.
Oh, my God.
Nikki Glazer is, she's going to be starting here at Sirius XM, and you're going to want to listen to her show in the morning instead of Jim and Sam. And, no, I'm not kidding. You can listen to everybody all the time. It's on demand. It all works out.
You can always demand things.
But, Bonnie McFarlane has a short film that is out in film festivals right now, and it stars Nikki Glazer.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. So tell people how they can get that, Chris.
Go to interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets. That's the ibang.com free tickets to Nikki Glazer Unmasked Monday, February 5th, 5 p.m. here at the Sirius XM studios.
Jen, let's take a guess. You had Lunchbox for how many years?
I was like Little Miss Fashionable when I was younger, so maybe till like 4th grade.
Wow. So
but I used to say one for like 3 years.
all right, let's go through your Lunchboxes then.
So at pre-K, I was really into Barbies, black Barbies.
Oh, you had a black Barbie?
I love the black, because that's the only Barbies that look like me.
That is so cute. But you had a black Barbie lunchbox?
Put up Black Barbie Lunchbox. I want to take a look at this.
That's so sweet.
Now, when I was younger, in second grade, my girlfriend, and she was a little blonde girl, she had a black Barbie lunchbox, which is adorable,
That
right?
is cute.
But it had to take a separate bus than us. Isn't that sad?
Oh, God.
Isn't that sad?
There's one on the, is that purple one over there on the right? Is that kind of?
Yes, that was kind of like it. Yep.
That is so cute.
Oh, Black Barbie, keep on rolling, Mississippi Queen. That is adorable. But you had a plastic lunchbox, huh?
That's why I had. I was of the plastic lunchbox era as well.
Yeah,
So.
pure fucking metal. As metal as fucking Iron Maiden.
Some motherfucker's gonna get my metal.
That's really good that you remembered that. What band, Vito?
Metallica.
Some motherfucker's gonna get my metal is Metallica?
Because metal's in the name.
Yeah, it's Marilyn Manson.
Come on. Fuck.
The Spooky Kids, and it's about beating a kid with your metal lunchbox. And it starts off with him saying, some motherfucker's gonna get my medal.
It's like a little girl yelling it.
So adorable. All right, and what else did you have besides Black Barbie?
Like the Disney princesses. Like it was just a bunch
Black
of them.
ones, though?
This I opened up my horizons. You know, I did Cinderella. Yeah, it was like that.
It would have been so cute if you would have just had a Barack Obama. Vito, lunchbox, brother.
So my first lunchbox was the Hercules animated movie because I fucking loved that movie when I was a little kid.
Who stars in it?
That was Tate Donovan was the adult voice. He was in Friends.
We all know who Tate Donovan is. He fucking dated the girl from Friends and then had nothing happen the rest of his life.
Yeah. Well, that was
there was a Friends episode where
That's pretty feminine.
I love
let me tell you,
Hercules.
there's a Friends episode where she's like a personal shopper, and Tate Donovan comes in and she's all like, "Oh my god, he's so beautiful! I get to shop for him." And you watch the show and you go, "You're 10 times more beautiful than this guy. He shouldn't be able to get you."
Yeah, that matchup doesn't make sense.
None. And then she went from him to Brad Pitt, crushing that dude's fucking career.
Mm-hmm.
But then he came back, and he's the guy who invented Tate's.
Oh, those
Tate's
are delicious.
Cookies. Yeah, they're so good. Go ahead.
So that was my first lunchbox.
First of all, first time yet, lame lunchbox. And very fucking
I just
feminine.
like the movie. My second lunchbox.
It's a rom-com.
I was a little kid. It was a cartoon. My second lunchbox we bought from one of those street vendors. It was a Stone Cold Steve Austin lunchbox where he was giving the middle finger, and it got taken away from me a week into school.
Oh my god! I can't even believe they would make a.
No, it wasn't officially licensed. It was like from one of those guys who sets up on the street and just like put on pictures of shit.
You should have got this one. Shirtless, sexy Austin.
So I lost.
I've never even heard of the lunchbox that somebody's giving the finger.
No,
All right, so you lost your lunchbox.
Huh? So that was my second one, and then my third one. My mom was like, "After that debacle, let's just give you a Mets one."
All right, well,
Did it have
that's
Mr.
cool.
Met on it?
No, it was just a Mets logo.
Oh,
I think
that
she
sounds
wanted to
good.
just tone it down after the middle
was
finger
right.
lunchbox.
I mean, you both were right both ways you went.
And you know
But
what?
a Mets,
You can keep that a long time.
Having a
too.
fucking baseball, your favorite team, that's a cool lunchbox.
Yeah.
Especially for a little kid.
I was sick, and it was like that one. That was my first like foam lunchbox.
Yeah, that's cool because at least you can keep using that and you don't age out of it.
Well, but then I eventually.
The fact that it's made out of.
I like a hard shell,
Even plastic?
even plastic.
If I tied a plastic, I just piss in it and say, "Mom, I can't take this." All right, Chris Stanley, the stance.
All right, as a small child, preschool, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Cool.
I was
Very
a
cool.
Big fucking fan. That
Yeah.
and the live-action movie with Dolph Lundgren. Sten, G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Gee, I love lunch.
And it's all plastic, by the way. And then a third, New York Yankees.
Now you want?
Oh,
You got that at what
interesting.
age?
Sounds familiar.
Yankees, I probably had like second or maybe the beginning of third grade. And my mom was like, when I went to brown paper bag, like I wanted to go to a brown paper bag.
Yeah, that was-
so
Yeah, that's-
Big
yeah.
bad.
I wanted that by the end of second
Just
grade.
wanted it.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "No, Christopher, just take your Yankees lunchbox with you."
Oh, because moms don't want their kids to grow up.
No, they don't want you to grow up, and also they don't want you to walk around with a soggy fucking bag the way you want to.
Did anybody's mom write fun notes for them?
No.
Really? Your
Yeah.
mom seemed like she would be like a note writer.
No
My mom
notes.
sometimes would do that.
What would she write?
Like just like little like have a great day or like hope you're having fun or something like that. And she would put it and like she would leave a little napkin for me, so that would be like on the napkin. She would have like a little note.
Did you hate it? Like, oh, somebody's gonna see this? Or?
No, I think when you're a girl, you're less like worried about like your mom loving you. When you're a boy, you're a little bit like, I don't want people to think my mom loves me.
Why don't you just change my diaper? God damn it!
My mom bought me a lunchbox like a month ago and was like, "Why don't you take this to work?" And I was like, "I'm not taking a lunchbox."
Why? It would have been nice because it's because you were
adults use
eating
them.
healthy food, right?
Yeah, I was bringing in food to heat up here. She was like, "I got you a lunchbox for your food," and I was like, "I'd rather just bring it in a plastic bag."
All right, Vito, I'm going to give you this. Let's think by what day. By Thursday or Friday, I want you to start the Healthy Lunch Club here, right?
Okay.
And come back and have some healthy choices that we can make, all of us, for this area.
Okay.
Because we're getting stuck later and later. And Chris always goes back to that square pizza place of his.
And like, it's good, but I eat
It's not
too
good
much
for
of
us.
it. And yeah,
Okay.
for some reason, I can eat a larger quantity of that pizza than I
But
do any
it's
other
very
pizza.
hard to make a healthy choice in this fucking corporate neighborhood. Let's make it.
That's why I've been bringing in my own food. So yeah, I'll bring in some meal prep for you guys.
What does he mean by meal prep?
Meal prep, like it's like where people prep their meals like for the
No,
week. And
dude, here's what I want
That's
you
disgusting.
to do. I want you to come in here and tell us when we need to order out, and it isn't
Oh.
every day, where we can order from to make healthy choices.
Okay.
This fucking thing that you have your on
You
your
have this idea
paleo.
that your mom is going to make us food every day.
No, I make
for
my
our whole
own. I
show.
make my own food.
But that's not what we're
are you
asking
making for yourself?
I have a George Foreman grill. I have a vegetable
Ew.
steamer.
You said
no more.
enough disgusting things. Now you're saying I'm one and the other. Okay. I did not have a kindergarten lunchbox because in my day, kindergarten was a half day.
Oh, nice.
Kindergarten was preschool. You didn't learn anything in kindergarten.
Right. You had fun.
Yeah. You had to say where you lived or something like that. And that was it. You had to just not fucking melt down. And kids didn't even have to, right? So kids did melt down in kindergarten. And then by the time I got to first grade, right? Because kindergarten wasn't fucking mandatory, there would be some kids melting down there. One kid was standing up, fucking banging on the window, screaming for his mom. We had this it was this old building with these giant windows. We were like this. Didn't he even go to kindergarten last year? First grade. Not only was I proud of this lunchbox then, I'd be proud of it today. It was all the NFL helmets.
Oh.
And I could sit and look for helmet for helmet for helmet. Believe it or not, that thing started me on my way to reading because there was the name of the teams underneath, and I could look at the helmet
Right.
and wanted to know where that team, and that means, Minnesota, that means Pittsburgh, blah, blah, blah. For some reason, I got another one the next year, Batman.
Oh, that's cool.
Not the Batman that you fuckers know. The great Adam West, the one and only truly Batman. And that was it for me. Those were my two.
Yeah.
Done after that. Done.
I
Couldn't do it.
I really like the one that just sounds like the helmet page.
The helmet page is look, people don't realize how much kids like a helmet. Just like you like the Mets. You like a logo when you're a kid. You like a logo, you like a team name something. I remember one of the first arguments when I was a kid were people saying, no, they're not giants. They're just really big men for the New York Giants. Because we were like, they're giants. So those kind of things are just give. What I'm trying to say is give your kid helmets, even if they're just playing with them themselves.
You can teach them how to read too.
But you can't teach them how to swim.
True.
A child can't. You can teach a kid take a kid to water, but you can't teach them to swim.
Like you should be able to.
Yeah, it's impossible.
We don't take the kid to the water then. They don't even know how to swim.
You know who taught? Yeah, that is a bad idea. You know who taught me how to swim?
Who's that?
My friends, the fish. I was an Aquaman, a man that was an aqua. Michael Flynn just left today. When Flynn the Eskimo gets here, everybody's going to jump for joy. Okay, they're saying that was yesterday that he did that.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, I can't keep up with the fucking news. I cannot keep up.
So much.
I refuse to pay attention to the news now.
Plus, we got too much on our minds this week anyway.
I got all the news I need on the weather report. Oh, I got all the news I need on the weather report. I'm the only living boy in New York. What else were we going to talk about today? Coming up, we're going to play an interview for you, but we'll be back, and Chris is going to be, just letting everyone know that they can see this next week's Unmasked. You don't want to miss these Unmasked. We're doing Doug Stanhope today. Chances are, if you're listening to this, you're missing it. But next week we're doing
Nikki Glazer Unmasked.
She's great. She's a great comic too,
That's
man.
gonna be so fun.
She's a really great comic. I'm a big fan.
That's happening Monday, February 5th, 5 p.m. here at the SiriusXM studios. You go to the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets to Nikki Glazer Unmasked.
We should charge $140 for that Unmasked.
Noted.
Noted. You say noted and no dude the same exact way.
No, dude. No, dude.
Vito, you said you had something you wanted to talk about today, right?
Yeah. So I think there are some technologies we have today that people grossly undervalue.
All.
100%.
But especially
Name a
like
technology. I probably.
Look, I'm gonna give you a technology right now. Fire. The fact that we can make fire anytime we want, right? Separates us from the animals. And no one ever takes a lighter and goes, thank God I don't have to make the fire myself. You ever watch Survivor? They'll have people who know they're going to be on Survivor, and they still can't make fire with sticks.
It's impossible.
And yet, there's fire. So I'm going to say the lighter because no one brings it up. But there's no technology people don't take for granted.
Like, I think people forget how important DVR is and how much it's changed watching television.
Oh, my God. I'm just sitting here talking about the difference between life.
He's talking about fire.
I mean, just
A
think of
necessity
before
of
you
living.
get to DVR. First of all, that's forgotten about. It's gone.
But that's why it's undervalued.
It's undervalued because we don't need it anymore. Just like you could say, is the horse and buggy undervalued? Yes, because we don't use a horse and buggy. We have what? Automobile. Chris, you see where he's going with this?
Nowhere, Ron. He's going nowhere.
Look, before you got to that, can you imagine that, let's say 99% of the humans ever born would be freaked out knowing that we can control the weather in our homes, that we have a button that makes it warmer or cooler. They're not going to be thinking, you got DVDs now? Do you realize that before you even get to DVD, you'd have to be like television? Television, we get 6 screens here. I'm seeing human beings in real time that are on the other side of the country or whatever.
And then you go, what else is on?
And I still don't know how
Yeah.
it works.
No.
No, I got fucking 285 channels and I threw the fucking remote.
It's
The other night
embarrassing.
going, this fucking blows.
The amount of technology I use that if someone asked me, how does that work? I would say, no, they figured something out. And then I know I have it.
DVD?
Whenever.
No, but with DVRs, you don't have to choose between 2 shows. You can just watch whatever you want, and you don't have to go, oh, no, Big Brother's on. But also, there's another
Do you
TV show.
understand before you even get to that point?
All right,
You
I'm
have
gonna,
to come up with electricity.
I'm going to throw another one out there for you. Indoor plumbing, running water.
Mind-blowing.
These are things that in this country you never go into a place to go, oh yeah, come into my home. We don't have indoor plumbing, but you would be like, what is this? Where am I? It's every business you walk into, every home, every place, every structure you assume is going to have indoor plumbing, running water.
And yes, if we
Potable.
went...
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, not only that, but it would be a shock if there was the slightest thing wrong with that water. It's shocking.
Right.
Where in this country, you had to go out and pump water, which, by the way, was a tremendous invention, right? That means people didn't have to go to the river. You would be able to send a pipe down below the ground and pump it, and yet someone said, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. Not only do we have that water, fresh water, which still half the world can't get to,
Yeah.
but we let it run. We let it heat up.
We're like, that's not
and
the
drinkable
temperature
water.
I want.
I'll fucking turn on the thing in my shower, walk around for a while. It's enough to give fresh water to a village for a month. And yet you're going to bring up a DVD player?
Garbage.
You think that there's people who, by the way, the number one killer of people on this planet is dysentery.
Yeah.
Diarrhea from bad water. We think of, oh, I got diarrhea. I must have went down on a Hispanic. No. These people can get it from anything, and they die from it. We don't have to worry. Pure water in our homes.
Nobody's ever died from not being able to DVR something.
A lot of people get stressed out about it all day that they can't record their favorite show.
You don't even need
stressed?
a fucking. You went from DVD player to now DVR. You've moved it over.
No, I've been saying DVR. Like, I love recording TV shows, and I don't like missing my show every night. And if there's 2 shows on, like on Mondays, Monday Night Raw.
Without electricity, you wouldn't even have a fucking anything. You would be sitting in the dark.
And that's
You know what
showing that you take electricity for
No, I
granted.
appreciate electricity.
Yes. No, you don't.
You don't care about it.
I love electricity, but DVR is one of the better parts of electricity.
I'm not even close to it. The fact that you
that
have.
statement's insane.
Oh, light bulbs.
Yeah.
There's lights in our homes. Whatever we want.
I'll take DVR over a well-lit room.
How about lit it all? You fucking idiot. There's the light coming out of the TV, or you wouldn't be able to see. He doesn't. You know what? You are the exact thing that they call spoiled millennial. Or millennials, I call them.
Sounds delicious.
People like that give us a bad name, Chris.
Jen, what do you
us
got?
elderly
I know.
millennials.
What do you got, Jen? YouTube videos?
Well, I was just thinking we wouldn't be able to, if we didn't have cars, we wouldn't be able to travel, see our family.
Automobiles.
Automobiles.
Now, if you think, now, let's talk about what Jen is talking about. Before the automobile, and we had like covered wagons and shit, right? People would still go out to California, but they would say goodbye to their family. They would say, I'm going to another state. You're never going to see me again. And people would cry. They would. And this is,
Well,
by
I know
the way,
you're safe.
by
In
the
a
way-
couple months, I'll send you a letter.
there's probably people alive that have said, my uncle left and we never heard again
Oh,
what
sure.
happened. And yet, with the automobile, this fucking freaks me out. You tell me to go anywhere to someone's house, I can leave my home and drive all the way there on pavement. I could drive to Alaska. I could drive to the Arctic. I could drive all the way down to the end of the sun. If there's a house, the chances are there's a road pulling up in a driveway.
That is pretty weird. There's nowhere that you can't get that is connected by land that someone would say, oh, we haven't sussed this out yet.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
This isn't
There's a city over there. We don't have the connecting road yet. But I'm even hitting a bump. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Ecuador is shitty.
That we were able to even get the highway system down seems like it should have been impossible.
Dude, what they did, there's books that you could read about it. And this happened during the Eisenhower years, right? It was the 50s when they put the things together. They just went through people's homes, through their fucking farms. They didn't give a shit. They're just like, we're running a road through here.
We need a road. We need to connect this
And
giant.
people are like,
landmass.
wait. They were fucking knocking it down. Get out of the way. You're going to get hit by a truck.
This is progress.
this is progress. Accept it.
But now, look, we didn't have the time to go around doing it.
No.
We strapped this fucking country together with roads. And if I said to you, here, drop this off in San Francisco, you wouldn't think to yourself for a second, well, how am I going to get over the mountains and rivers? Will there be level ground for traveling?
So much wilderness.
Will I be able to find food and fresh water? And can I DVR all my favorite shows?
While I'm gone.
You can.
How many favorite shows could you possibly have?
Oh, look at my DVR.
Right now, everybody, by the way, you watch Mosaic?
No. What's that on?
Oh my God.
I have to add that to my DVR
TV
recorded
show.
series.
It's too late now. The whole country's done talking about it. And if you got the app, you'd be able to watch it from different angles and follow different people. Steven Soderbergh is trying to take the worst actors and put together a mystery with some of the worst dialogue ever done. It's so bad you would have swore Steven Soderbergh directed it. Do we not do you, Chris?
I think this is something I know all of us take it for granted.
Let me guess. The
Yeah.
church key for opening our beers.
Why aren't we appreciating this thing? Google Maps should be technology that only like the CIA has, where you can just zoom in on wherever you are from satellite technology.
Yeah,
and see
the difference
entire
is
place
I don't
at.
know if I appreciate it. I still find some of that shit pretty scary.
It's weird.
I will say that I take it for granted in the way that when it doesn't work in my favor, I'm infuriated by it instead of appreciating that it exists at all. Like if Google Maps tells me the fastest route and then I hit some traffic and then I'm looking at Waze and I was like, Waze knew not to do this. I'm infuriated.
Bullshit.
Well, what is amazing is that we don't get lost anymore. And being lost used to be a big part of traveling. And there used to be a thing of a man won't ask for, directions, but his wife will.
Right.
Because it used to feel effeminate. And now we have a little AI telling us when to take a left, when to take a right. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that many years ago. It didn't work at all. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of stunk when it first came out.
And now it works in every major city in the world.
And
Anywhere.
minor.
And yeah, that's even more important, that you can go through the country and not feel, alarmed. Now, sometimes it sends you through neighborhoods that you probably would avoid if you
Right. They're like, it is the fastest route.
could. Yeah, like
But is it
fastest
the
route.
What if that's what they started doing was like safest route was an
I
option?
think they say just mainly highways, and that's code word for that.
Gotcha.
Because you're just like, what am I doing in this part of Newark? But to get to your initial question, it's amazing how quickly we act like, who gives a fuck? We were talking about this the other day about Louis C.K. doing the bit on people complaining.
About not having Wi-Fi on the plane.
Yeah, whatever it is that they're like, bitching about being stuck on a plane. Again, like I said, you would look months and months and months, and who knows whether you would live or die to go to California. You were willing to say, I'll risk my life to go to California. Why?
This guy loves the idea of California.
There's-
Place he's never been.
Yeah,
But
he's
he
heard
thinks
some
he
good stuff.
might like it.
He hates the East Coast.
Yeah. My family never thought that. My family thought, what the fuck? Let's hang around here. It looks pretty good. It's nice here. Get all 4 seasons. Now, the weirdness of that. By the way, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know whether you guys saw. It's up in the iBank. Jen Selter was kicked off her and her big ass.
Oh,
were kicked
yeah.
off a plane, and it seemed like she was being a wise ass. To them.
Yeah, what was the sassafras thing that she said or did?
They told her to stay in her seat because they didn't know when they were going to be taken off, and it was an hour and a half they were sitting on the runway. Look, if I have to sit on the runway for an hour and a half or get kicked off the plane, please, by all means, kick me off. I'm glad to say this plane blows. But I never thought of her as a person who would be given shit to the fuzz.
Yeah.
It was very surprising.
Yeah. And she's the one who put the word out there. She's the one.
Yeah,
rocking
this
these
is her
videos.
filming herself.
Yeah. Like, can you believe this shit?
And she's there like with her sister, and then the sister started crying at some point.
Why?
Just because she was upset at what was happening.
You're gonna be arrested, Jen.
Jen didn't give a fuck.
You don't want your big ass in jail. They'll fucking really rape you there. What if they put you in man's prison with that big ass? Summer Rae's very classy when she gets on to it.
Yeah, no. She just goes to Mexico for.
Isn't there a
disappears.
new famous Instagram girl? I mean, that's been years now that you've been following those two.
Yeah, and Summer Rae's slightly newer.
Yeah, but that's even been years.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years at Summer Rae's.
Vito, you look like you have an idea.
They're popping up all the time. There's one that's Brooke Lynn who puts up fun comedy videos.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. She puts MS
Clever.
Brooke _Lynn. She puts up like funny comedy sketches and sexy pictures.
All right, let's take a look at Brooke
Lynn.
Lynn.
All right, here we go. Here's Brooklyn. Oh,
Oh,
she's very
MILF.
attractive.
MILF. Come on, Vito. Is this somebody who hangs out with your mom? Come on,
This is-
dude.
Come on, man.
She puts up fun comedy sketches.
Dude, look at her.
Yeah.
She's quite old. I don't
She's-
like
She's
this.
old and thick in the wrong places. Look, if I met her here, I'd go, "Oh, what an attractive woman." But we're looking at the 1% of the 1%. You know,
Mm-hmm. The
These-
1% of the 1% of the 1%
That's a really good impression.
of an impression. Chris just put up actual
saw that.
pornography very large on the
All right,
screen.
let's fucking take it
He-
right to HR.
No,
How
don't.
many
Just
people
put-
saw it? Raise
Don't.
their
I
hand.
saw.
Don't.
Lesbian
Okay.
porn
I didn't
in a
see it. I had
shower.
my back to
No.
it,
All right,
but I am willing to take you up.
because there is a new Instagram girl. Her name's Sarah Calixto. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think she's the new hot shit.
Let's take a look.
She doesn't have like a huge. She has a 1.7 million followers.
She's
Where's
think
her
she's-
nipples?
I think they were photoshopped out because they didn't want to,
It's not photoshopped out. It's just
She says
Where
tiny
are they?
nipples.
What do you mean she has
they're
tiny
under
nipples?
those. They're under those snowflakes.
Oh, because they're. I'm really confused what they're doing all the way up there. I'm so confused.
They're very high nipples.
She had a tit job, and
Okay.
it wasn't necessarily a good one.
They didn't put it at the right
Well,
spot.
what's her name? Brooklyn.
No, that Brooklyn.
Oh, this
that
is
older
Queen-
woman.
This is Queens.
This is Queens.
See,
Yeah.
this is like she seems like she's just porny.
She's
Yeah.
a little porny.
I mean, you don't see Seltzer doing all this.
Do you know who Jen Selter's been romantically linked to?
I'm going to say basketball player.
Yes,
I don't know who.
Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks.
All right. Makes sense. She's a New York girl.
She's been going to a lot of games and like tweeting about how she likes watching him play.
All right,
And then
let's see if we can find a picture of them both together.
And then her mom said, "I wouldn't be surprised if they were dating."
Yeah, but then you just
didn't
told
tell
us
her
they were
mom?
dating.
Yeah, but they're not like publicly saying it, but she's been going to a lot of his games and rooting for him.
Looks like they haven't been spotted together.
Yeah.
In public.
He looks like a fucking clown. Shit.
I
mean,
mean,
you
this
know, if
fucking
you-
guy.
God.
If you want to be a
I don't get
super
it.
couple, you know what I mean? The guy doesn't have to be beautiful, but you got to hold something up,
I'm
you
a little
know?
confused about the brows.
He looks like an Eastern European creep, which is what.
All
he
right,
is.
that seems like
Come on,
going
man,
a
he's-
little racist.
That's racist.
So you put up porn. Now you're saying racist things.
Dude, he can be out of here by tomorrow.
I'm off the rails.
He's
right
really
now,
good for
guys.
the Knicks.
I'm just saying, Jen could do better.
We're saying if you want to be a super couple,
Yeah,
you know
which
what
is
I mean?
what she wants.
She turned down that Yankees prospect like a year ago.
That's because he was a
'Cause
ginger.
he's a prospect, and
Yeah.
you can't fucking risk that.
I mean, now that Giancarlo Stanton is in the
Here's
new,
the thing. Let's suppose she goes out with a prospect, right? It doesn't work out. She can't go out with a second baseman after that. You know what I mean? There's like some guy in the fucking AAA going, "Oh yeah, I banged her too. She's great." She's got to keep it fucking fresh, and she's got to make the right move. She's in the same situation Jen's in. If Jen wants to marry big, now there was somebody that Jen was introduced to, interested in, and then our new intern Becky just badmouthed the shit.
Yeah, that was
In
too
front of her.
far. I think.
She was like this. That dude's a dick, man.
oh no,
She was
Yeah.
pissed.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll keep that in
Yeah.
mind. But it's not going to stop me.
I don't think so.
But it
That's why I
did
wasn't
make you
concerned.
think like, huh?
It made me think, but I'm just honestly, I mean, it kind of turned me on. If anything, I don't want somebody that's such a nice guy that everyone's like, oh, he's. So
I've never heard you use the term "turn me on." I'm very shocked by that. That's like you saying, you know what sexually excites me?
It's just like it gives me a boner.
Yeah.
And
So you like them a little rough on
yeah,
other
nobody
people,
wants somebody that's like a
Vito.
pushover.
like a Vito.
yeah, like the vetoes of your the
you don't
world.
want somebody like me.
Soft
Now, what they
bodied
like-
sissies.
You think
Idiot.
like I know a girl in Costa Rica. She's with a mad dog, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's her mad dog,
Right.
And that
Whoa, whoa,
dog is
whoa.
gonna bite for her.
That's right.
Chris will come out of his house with no fucking shirt on. What the fuck's going on down here?
That's right.
I'll fucking kill all you motherfuckers. You tell him I'm coming back, and I'm bringing hell.
You tell them the law's back in town.
He's gonna meet me and my friends, Smith and Wesson. You fuck up somebody if they ever like laid hand on your chick?
Oh yeah, it would be on.
Even if he was a badass?
Yeah, I would have to. Yeah, I would throw myself into it.
All right, what happens if you would come over to her house
Yeah.
and there was 4 guys raping her?
Jesus fucking Christ, Ron!
Why did that make me laugh?
Because you're fucked up, Gail.
Because you never answered the question. It sounds like you're turning tail and run.
No, I'm fucking jumping in.
What?
Not during the rape to save her from the rape.
Oh my god. Oh my God.
That was the best Vito line of all time. What? Like, he was appalled.
Oh, please. You know what I meant, Vito.
Chris was going to pull his pants down. Get in the line.
Guess this is what we're doing.
I'm with you guys.
You just said it.
No, I would fight them.
So disgusting and weird.
I would fight them. I think you guys are taking things the wrong way.
Look, if this was a school, these are the kind of questions that you ask, right?
All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Jumping in.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it's so strange.
All right, we got this unmasked that we're doing tomorrow.
That's a mess happening next Monday.
Next Monday, but tonight, before we even get to the unmasked, come out and see us. We're all going to be at Caroline's.
That's Caroline's Comedy Club in New York City. It's tonight, 7:30 p.m. Carolines.com for tickets. Use the code DAN for discounted tickets. It's promo code DAN.
Where did your long hair go? So that's tonight at Caroline's. Now, we've got to run over and take care of this unmasked that we're doing today. But we have a recorded interview that we've done with, one of the guys who came up with what was psychedelic rock. One of the guys that they give credit to as being one of the founding people for hard rock, which then later became metal. And that's Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge. And it always interests me, like, where people were at what time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There are certain times that everybody thinks about. And the Summer of Love, 1967, and the people that he met,
Yeah, it's incredibly
as well as
wild.
having a hit record.
And the people you get to play with and the people that open for them. I mean, he has some really phenomenal stories.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin opened for them. Hendrix. It's just great. It's hard to believe that Hendrix opened for anybody, and yet you hear all the time, "Oh, Hendrix opened for the Monkees." You're like, what?
I know, because he still has that kind of, he's like a god or something. Like, he's
He is
not
like a
really
god.
like, you don't really think of him as a person who,
Right.
like, you don't hear anyone, like, talking about how what his personality was like or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he's just like as an icon.
Yes.
So
no
it's
one
weird
ever-
to think people had a relationship with him. It was like, hey, what's up?
And it doesn't seem like he did anything but be Hendrix. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever said, "Oh, I was playing kickball with Hendrix once. Oh, he was a nice guy." I ended up getting bored. Yeah, I got bored and I left. Me and him went out for a tuna sandwich. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that it just feels like there would be like silks over all the fucking lamps and shit. You
Right.
know? Like everybody just living in this mystical world. But Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge, and I didn't even know he had a book out. You ordered it for me, right?
Yes, I did. Yes. It's You Keep Me Hanging On, which is available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and mark-stein.com.
And that song was one of the first times that you heard that sound of that big Hammond organ, which was very, very much caught up. And it seems like in that summer, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
Because Ray Manzarek was at the same time.
probably one of my most favorite covers of all time, because it's such a unique spin on that song, and it slows it down and it becomes so strange and eerie. And
Yeah, did anyone else ever do that with a pop song before that? I don't think
Yeah.
somebody went, you know what? I've heard How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? But we're going to take it to a whole weird bluesy place. I
Right.
think you're going to like it. It's Way different for you guys. So that's when we come back, Chris?
That's when we come back, yes.
All right, so we'll play that, and then we will be back live after that, done with the Unmasked that we're doing right now with Doug Stanhope and Nikki Glazer, Unmasked, next Monday, February 5th, 5 o'clock p.m. at Sirius XM. Make sure you go to the iBang to check that out. We'll be right back with Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge, Bennington. Mark Stein is in studio with us, and the Mark Stein project is out on the road right now. Great to see you, buddy.
Oh, it's incredible to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
You know, it's an amazing when you can put together a project like this that goes over an entire body of work, which is 50 years now.
Half a century, man.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably more. I had a record out when I was 11 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was on TV with Sam Cooke, believe it or not.
No, I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah.
So you were a kid.
I'm a kid.
Out on Long Island. How do you?
I was a kid in New Jersey.
Oh, in New Jersey.
New Jersey City, New Jersey.
Yeah, I always thought that you were a Long Island guy.
Oh, I lived in Long Island in the late 60s.
But you grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah, I grew up in Bayonne, New Jersey, and Jersey City, which is the adjacent town, you know.
So what was, before we even get to Sam Cooke, what was the musical sound in New Jersey as you were a kid growing up?
I was singing on the streets with all the brothers when I was probably 12, 13 years old.
So basically R&B, soul music.
R&B and soul, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a pretty distant move from Vanilla Fudge, though, right?
Well, not really, because Vanilla Fudge, the body of our vocals were inspired by rhythm and blues and, you know, all the singing groups from the day.
Right. So then all you did was add some elements of the music that was happening at the time, and it kind of changes it till it feels totally different.
Well, we could play and we could sing.
Yeah.
You know, you could either sing or you could play. You could play or you could sing. Vanilla Fudge came at a time when, you know, all the talent was in-house totally. So, you know, we used to sing songs like from the Impressions, Shep and the Limelights, the Temptations. We used to make believe we were, you know,
right.
We were all these groups, and it was awesome. We used to sing in the car, driving from gig to gig, and you know, we were just inspired by all the bands from the day, like me, like Felix Cavalieri. When I saw the Rascals, that blew my mind. When I was 18, I had to get my first Hammond organ. I wanted to be Felix. Carmine wanted to be Dino, and you know, it was that kind of evolved that way.
Well, Jersey's always kind of connected to shore music, too. There's always that live, let's have a great time thing that takes place.
We had the Beach Boys in the car radio in Belmar and Asbury Park.
Yeah.
Day in and day out, and life was good.
Sorry, so how do you go from you're sitting there and you're loving R&B music, and how does and you're singing this music and you guys are playing together? How do you go on to getting a record contract? Because if you really look back at that time when you guys broke out, music was just on yet another change. You were right on the cusp of it, but a lot of times that's hard to be recognized. But
well, what happened? We came at a time when the advent of underground radio, you know, it was starting to happen. We were probably the first experimental band, you know, doing some psychedelic symphonic rock arrangements of songs like "You Keep Me Hanging On," of course, and Eleanor Rigby, and you know, "Bang Bang," and taking everybody's tunes and breaking them down and almost rewriting them, and you know, putting our own vibe to them. And you know, we got thrown out of club after club after club at a time because nobody could dance to us.
Yes,
you know?
Right, exactly.
And we couldn't get on the radio at the time, obviously, you know, immediately, because the AM. It was a 3-minute song, so we were fortunate, as I just mentioned, to have our long arrangements be played like on WNEW in New York at the time,
sure.
And L.A. and Chicago and San Francisco, and the whole thing just exploded, you know, really quickly during that time. So you know, that we got the record contract when Ahmet Ertegun heard the demo of "You Keep Me Hanging On," which was one take that we recorded right here in New York City at a place called Mirror Sound. It was in the basement of a hotel around Midtown somewhere, you know.
Yeah. And the beginning of that song is so iconic. How did that even come to you? You know, how did you even think to yourself?
I was sitting in front of the Cheetah.
Yeah.
About 1966, me and Tim Bogert, bass player, and Diana Ross and the Supremes comes across the radio, and we're sitting there hanging out. It was dead of winter. We were maybe smoking a little light stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know? And it just sounded great, but it sounded so fast. And at the time, we were into slowing songs down and doing things, in a more dramatic production kind of manner. And I looked at Tim and I said, man, this song would be so cool if we slowed it down and put something to it. He said, well, go to work on it, Mark. So I started thinking about these themes, and, that organ fluty sound is really the melody of Set Me Free, but I did it slow, kind of an eerie, haunting thing. We were playing at Angano's at the time, and I came in with the arrangements. The introduction, Vinnie Martell had this incredible raga thing that he came up with for the intro on the guitar. And Carmine and Tim did their, amazing, rhythm section trip to it. We just worked on it, and we knew we had something really special, and the rest, I guess, is history.
You knew right away that it was special, but you kept playing with it.
Oh, we knew. It was just such an emotional thing, so dynamic, and everybody that heard it was just like blown away.
Now, you do that one take at the time, and that went out to some radio stations, and you were getting play on all different kind of radio stations at that time.
It's interesting because they edited You Keep Me Hanging On down to a 3-minute song.
Mm-hmm.
So when the first album came out, there was a big buzz, and the single came out and it flopped. It went up maybe number 87. It fell up the charts.
Yeah.
So we're saying, oh, man, we're done already, But meanwhile, we're on tour with the Mamas and the Papas on the West Coast and doing all these shows, with all the L.A. bands. And suddenly the album, the buzz continued. So the album actually became a huge success. It went to the top 10, the first album of its time to hit the top 10 in Billboard and Cashbox without a hit single.
With no hit single whatsoever.
No, Keep Me Hanging On was re-released about 14 months later and went to the top of the charts all over the world. So,
wow, that had to be some. So you're out 66, 67 on the West Coast,
67.
Right? 67.
The summer of 67, that album came out. So maybe September, right. It was our first tour to the West Coast, yeah.
And the Doors album comes out that summer. Love came out that year. So you, at this time, that it's this period of time that people are still thinking about and writing about to this day.
Yeah.
You're a kid, man, and you're right in the middle of it.
I'm in the middle of the pop universe. I'm 20 years old, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm in awe of everybody. And all of a sudden we're becoming popular and everybody becomes awed with us.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was taking on its own force of nature. It was a pretty incredible time.
I mean, is it like being shot off in a rocket, though? Is this?
It is, because, we're just a bunch of kids, and the first fame came so fast. You didn't know how to handle it. It was just an explosion of egos, and it was just, it was pretty insane.
Right. Yeah, and you don't come from a place where people expect to become stars. It doesn't happen in that part of Jersey.
We were all, sons of laborers, man.
Yeah.
Hardworking dads and moms, and and then we started becoming popular. It was an incredible vibe for everybody in our family and our friends. And when we hit the Ed Sullivan Show, forget about it. It was just, everybody was just walking around so proud, not only the band, but everyone that was related to us.
Yeah, because everybody felt connected to what you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who were some of the other bands in those early days? Because you guys went into a thing where you're just touring and recording.
Yeah.
Almost all the time, right? There's no time off.
No, we were probably the hardest working band next to James Brown in the United States at that time, yeah.
So who all are you out on tour with?
We're touring with everybody.
Yeah.
Canned Heat, of course, when Led Zeppelin came out, they opened for us,
Yeah, it's crazy.
3 albums in the top chart, in 1968. Band called the Yardbirds broke up. Jimmy Page Comes to America with Robert Plant, John Paul Jones, and, Bonzo. And, we were label mates, and they said, would you be kind enough to let this band Led Zeppelin open for you? And there was no budget. Barry Fay was the promoter, and he said, we can't. You're going to have to pay for this band. So we actually paid them I think $500 or $600 out of our money, so they could come out and open and play.
Yeah.
So that's how Led Zeppelin got started. And then we went on and did a multitude of shows, the first tour and then the second tour. And I saw them rough around the edges. I saw them evolve very quickly into the biggest rock band in the universe so quickly,
But that's how it must have felt all the time back then. Like something was evolving into becoming something new or disappearing all at the same time. Because if you look back at music at that time, it's amazing how many albums were put out in a year or within 2 years.
Yeah, because you had to always meet the convention. The record company says you have to have the record, you have to have it for, 7-8 months. You got to have another album. Didn't give you time to really lay back and create.
Right.
Which was good for some bands and which was not so good for some bands.
Right. So. And a band like you guys were jamming on stage every night too, though, right? So that ability, because if you have to think about it, people weren't, outside of jazz, weren't jamming at that time, right? Mm-hmm. Before that. Right. So what gave you guys, again, that idea to keep moving this music around?
Well, it was just competition.
Yeah.
There was so many, great bands out there. And we, when we played with the Cream, with Clapton and, Jack Bruce and, and Ginger Baker, my good friend Ginger Baker, who I'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
But, of course, Ginger Baker. So, anyway, that was the first time, like, Carmine and Timmy started seeing drum solos and bass solos. So they wanted to go into, they started getting into that direction. And they were incredible, rhythm section at that time. Me, I just wanted to keep the arrangements going, keep the style of the band going. So suddenly there was a different yin and a different yang, and it started pulling apart. And, after about 3 years, we kind of went our separate ways.
But you're all young kids. Was there any kind of adult to go, hey, I know that you guys are feeling these different things, but we should keep the solo, the Vanilla Fudge project should be held together and then go out and experiment a little bit.
Well, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
At the time, nobody thought that way. Nobody cared. Nobody had that kind of vision. The band never should have broke up.
Right.
Like you said, they should have gone out and did their own things and kept the Fudge as the mother band, Yeah. This is what a lot of artists do, in latter years. But we didn't. They went off in their own way. I went off in another direction. And, over the years, Carmine played with a ton of people. I played with Dave Mason and Tommy Bolin, and I even did a stint with Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. And I actually just, last year, I did a bunch of shows to a tribute to Keith Emerson with Carl Palmer.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about this because it's leading up to the Mark Stein project, which in essence is the music of all the bands I played with. All the best, all the cool tunes from all the bands I played with in my career. The night of tribute to classic rock.
Well, as you go through that, I imagine you can think to yourself, here's a different era. This is a different year that we've moved into. When you think about it, it's almost like a musical version of a documentary, right? Because the music changes because the time has changed.
Well, that's what I do on stage. I tell stories over half a century of all the people I've known, the Zeppelin people and the Deep Purple people, Purple People Eaters, the Janis Joplins, the Johnny Winters, all of them. I've touched base and had association with them all, and it's one song leads to a story, and one story leads to a song, and it's, kind of got a nice rhythm that way.
Well, it's also, Fudge was a bridge, too. Not every band kind of leads into something else. But you said like Emerson, Lake and Palmer had heard you guys, the Deep Purple guys had heard you, and they started to pick that up. So there is this iconic sound that you brought.
Yeah, there's no question that Vanilla Fudge was, I don't want to put a feather in my own cap or the band's cap, but we, the fact is we were, I think, a strong influence on a bridge between pop music and heavy music, which became heavy metal, which became progressive rock, all these things.
Yeah.
Because Deep Purple used to, come to see Vanilla Fudge and, John Lord, who we later became friends, God rest his soul, and Richie Blackmore, they used to come and see us in England, and they were blown away, and they said, and it's all printed, they wanted to be like Vanilla Fudge, so they were, in the beginning, called the English Vanilla Fudge. And, bands like Yes and even Styx and, Uriah Heep, we had a strong keyboard and power rhythm section influence on these guys too.
But that has to be somewhat of a frustrating thing because Vanilla Fudge could have stayed together for that era. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
fact
they could have stayed together.
Yeah.
You know, if we had the sense, again, in hindsight, to have some of the great songwriters of the time that were writing songs for a lot of the big artists, 'cause they wrote songs for us. You know, we weren't really writing songs, we were doing what we did, which was great when it came out, but eventually it became a one-trick pony, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that style of doing the same thing, so that's basically, it burnt itself out,
Right.
you know? So,
And yet, you know, when you even, look back at it, so many people depended on songwriters, Elvis and, all throughout and even Clapton, all the early stuff was, kind of cover music, just done differently than the blues guys did. But when you look back over your career, you find out that, wow, you were there for a lot of cool scenes. And I mean, we're talking about you were there for so much that was happening at the perfect time in the 60s, but the 70s
we were
as well.
at the center of the pop music universe. And I guess I'm going to plug my book here as well.
Please.
It's called You Keep Me Hanging On, The Raging Story of Rock Music's Golden Age. And basically it's, it's an overview of everything we're talking about. It's over a half century of rock history.
Do you look back at any certain time and say, oh, that was the peak time for me? That's when it was all, I thought the creativity was at the peak.
I was, at the time we were touring. We were, on the road with Jimi Hendrix. It was the Hendrix Fudge Tour in '68. We probably did about 15 to 20 concerts. It was an amazing time for us and, American music. All the tours with Led Zeppelin, and then actually even a band called Three Dog Night came through us. Nobody ever heard of them. And lots of bands, we were there. Janis Joplin, used to come and jam with us on stage, all of them. And, it's been one hell of a trip, still here rocking.
Yeah, sure. That's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah.
It's you're still doing your work. How many people get to spend a lifetime with the thing that they fell in love with? Because when you were a young kid, what was the first songs that you heard, even when you're too old to figure it out, that you're like, oh, I really love music?
I think I must have been a toddler.
Yeah.
I think it was Les Paul and Mary Ford.
Yeah.
Listening to that kind of stuff. Patti Page,
Yeah.
You Belong to Me, which was later recorded by the Duprees, but the original, I was mesmerized by melodies, and I used to imagine myself being a music star. I mean, I used to sit in front of my apartment. I was 4 years old and tell everybody I was going to have my own TV show, and used to run around with a cowboy outfit on.
Yeah. What was the first instrument that you picked up?
Piano.
Yeah.
My uncle, I used to watch him play piano, and by the bay, by the Nuke Bay, at a house in Bayonne, right down on 33rd Street.
Yeah.
So I used to watch him play. He'd go. I must have been 4 years old, maybe 5. He used to go into the kitchen, and I'd go up to the piano and start one finger and melodies. I had that natural ability at such a young age.
I always think it's fascinating too, because the fans always aren't this way, but a lot of musicians love music. They can go outside of their genre. They can like classical. They can like all different types of music. And the fans don't have that kind of ear always to pick up on it. But you had it just since you were a kid.
Since I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid. My dad, my dad wanted me to be Myron Florin, the great accordion player on the Lawrence Welk Show. I mean, that was his goal, for me to be like that. So I started taking some accordion lessons. After about 2 years, I got completely bored with it, but it did help me with my right-hand chops, I must tell you. I must tell you, with triplets and speed, okay? Then I started falling in love with rock. Buddy Holly and, Bobby Freeman, Betty Lou Got a New Pair of Shoes, and, all that kind of stuff. And I started picking up the guitar. I started playing rhythm guitar. Before you knew it, I was out in the streets. So my dad, after he got over the fact that I wasn't going to play accordion anymore, he said, okay, So he got me on this show in New York City. And I actually I met a guy named Neil Scott, who was promoting all of these dance parties and dance shows in Brooklyn and all over that area, who, actually wrote me this song called Give Me a Chance. I was, again, 11 years old went in the studio. I made a demo, and next thing you know, I'm on TV, and the record comes out, and I'm on TV in Washington D.C. with Sam Cooke and Wayne Newton when he had Donkey Shane. He was 16, and I was 11.
Yeah.
You know, and Neil Scott later became the biggest promotion man in the business. 96 Tears, Question Mark and Mysterians became number one. And then Neil Scott became Neil Bogart, who was responsible for Donna Summer and Kiss and Casablanca Records. And he passed at the young age of maybe 40 years old. So that's a pretty interesting, evolving story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his career alone. But again, the fact that you were just right in the mix as a kid and then you end up in all these places, it's almost like this was put out there for you. I mean, it's almost like you were just drawn to this thing that wasn't even a choice.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ever since I can remember, I've always been drawn to entertainment, to music, to melodies, to lyrics, you know.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by the Mark Stein Project. You can catch them out on the road. And tell us, give a plug for the book again, too.
Okay, it's You Keep Me Hanging On, The Raging Story of Rock Music's Golden Age. You can get it on my site, mark-stein.com. And you can also get it on Amazon, but the autographed copies, you can get it from my site. And I just want to say that the Mark Stein Project will be at B.B. King's on the 30th of January, next Tuesday night. So come down. It's going to be an incredible evening. And also at Daryl's house on February 1st in Paulding, New York. And the very next night at Bull Run in Shirley, Massachusetts, February 2nd. So come and rock with us. It's going to be killer.
Thank you so much, my friend, and best of luck to you, okay?
All right, God bless. Have a great 2018, everybody.
It's the Bennington Show. I think we're playing The Unmasked this Friday with Doug Stanhope. He's pretty fantastic. Really, really great conversation. And I was so excited to have Bingo there.
I know. I loved Bingo. I loved finally getting to meet her. And that was a great Unmasked.
Yeah, it was really, he came in throwing haymakers. He was ready to go today.
Yes, he was determined for sure.
I don't think it went as poorly as he thought last time went, but because I think he's a really fascinating guy, no matter, where his head is at the time. But it's an interesting and incredibly funny talk. And the book is just terrific. Gail, that I was always a big Hunter Thompson fan.
Yeah.
And for me, this is almost like an heir apparent, even though they come from such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
That love for chaos, and then to have this weird truth come through that every once in a while.
Not to mention the style's pretty close, too.
Yeah, I guess there is so much of a... Well, see, Hunter was wearing those clothes in real time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does look comfortable, though, right?
It does.
They dress?
You know what I was noticing mostly was his shoes look really comfortable to me.
Yeah.
What kind of shoe would you call it? That's like a loafer of sorts?
It is a loafer.
It's like a classic kind of 1960s style.
I think those are called the Herb Tarlicks. And anyone who is used to or knows a show called WKRP in Cincinnati will know exactly where I'm coming from with that reference spot that I do. I do a lot of references.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep up.
Sometimes I don't catch them all.
Yeah, because they're coming fast. They're coming fast from every which direction. Did you get this one signed, Chris?
Oh, yes, it was signed.
Both of these?
Yeah, both were signed, yes.
All right, well, take it away from me. I don't want to...
Yeah, smudge it.
I don't want to smudge a red book.
I don't want to get my green juice on it.
It's one thing to get a green juice in the street, but a store green juice is kind of...
I know, but I was having a green juice craving.
Off the rack?
Look. Scratches the itch, you know what I mean? When you're craving the green.
Oh, I like that. If we're still opening up that Madison Avenue boutique advertising shop.
The only difference with this one is they have algae in this one. This one has algae, so it's a little bit turtle tanky compared to the fresh ones.
That sat at the bottom of the lake too long.
I think it's a superfood. I'm not really sure.
Sure. It's a supper food. Chris, you eat anything that's good for you?
No, I do not.
Well, you might be on milkshakes for an entire year.
Yeah.
It's a year now?
Oh, you won't last. I mean, you'll die. I feel like you're to go on this milkshake challenge that we're talking about, where you can't drink anything but milkshakes.
Only
I think your body's going to dehydrate.
I think it's crazy. I don't know.
He's crazy.
I would go with mustache. Even as a woman, I would choose mustache over milkshake and milkshake
it might
alone.
not be up for a choice for you. If you know what I'm saying.
Once you hit a certain age,
you got that Italian blood, and those Italians have only been out of the trees for 2 generations.
Now, we're just talking one flavor milkshake, or could I mix it up?
Mix it up as much as you want.
Oh
okay?
God, what?
I mean, I'm not gonna have to be drinking them, but I'm just
I can't stand.
What am I, the fucking milkshake police?
Here's the thing: that the milkshake police, I'm not coming for you. The milkshake police. Here's the thing: I can't stand when you do a bet or ask a question for a person, and they immediately start trying to get out of it. Just fucking go with the bit. It's a bit. I don't care whether or not you need butterscotch in your milkshake. That's your fucking call, big man. But you know what?
Yeah.
Save that shit for your fucking 8th grade teacher, not for me.
Got it.
I don't care when you hand in your report. I don't care if you have a fucking hardcover on the outside or you couldn't get one because your mom found out she had to go into work last night. If I was a fucking teacher, I would constantly say to kids, I don't give a fuck about the deets that you're bringing me. You know? I got a job here. I got to turn in the papers. Stamped. If you grade it for me, all the better. I'm so fucking not. I'm probably at the point now I'm not even going to watch the Super Bowl on Sunday. I don't need the aggravation.
It's pretty, it's a very anxious feeling. Uncomfortable. It's kind of making me wonder, like, why previous seasons we wanted it. Like, why did we want this? This feels like it's kind of like somewhere like itchy and skin crawly.
We never had one.
Yeah.
That's why. If you had them, I'm sure no one in the fucking greater Boston area gives a shit one way or another. They're like, it's that time of year again. Super Bowl. That's a going to Super Bowl. I saw a thing in the New York Post that said, like, oh, the Eagles were unwise to get Brady annoyed, but it doesn't matter. This fucking guy is an ice cold killer. You can't make him angry. You can't make him happy.
No, he doesn't.
His fucking attitude will not change. You can't do the wrong thing by getting under his skin. His skin is fucking tight on that muscle.
It's like the Terminator. It's just like a fake layer of skin.
Terminator, good quarterback.
So good. So good.
And he was a Patriot.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Joey Sant just tweeted me that he recreated my cinnamon raisin bagel with bacon, egg, and cheese on it. I was just really happy to see it. And he said, yeah.
Well, I mean, what's not to like there? It's got it all.
I know. It's got it all.
We got it all.
He said, I've discovered magic.
Do you believe
Let's get an RT.
Yeah, give him a nice RT there.
I just RT that shit.
Not just a like?
Mm-mm.
Give him an RT from Bennington, too, so he gets a double RT.
Oh, my God.
Or do we RT Gail? I don't know how that works. I haven't been
You can RT
yet.
my RT.
All right. RT and RT.
I don't even know if that's normal or not. I don't know whether you saw this, but this Delco mom swears that her 3-month-old baby's first word he's ever said is Eagles. Or Eagles.
Eagles.
Let's see. Let's take a listen. We gotta have volume, Chris. This is 1917. Fucking... That's it. He did it.
Shit.
That's a sign. He definitely said eagle. Oh, yeah. That's eagle. That's eagle.
Eagle! Blues!
Water can.
Welcome. Do you believe in eagles?
I love a baby with a Philly accent.
Yo.
You.
You know, if you had to learn that accent, it's probably difficult, right? Because it changes, like,
Yeah.
the A doesn't follow anything, the O doesn't follow anything.
Yeah, it's very peculiar. I feel very few people can pull it off, but you do need, kind of inside exposure at some point.
Did you guys watch Megyn Kelly today when she had on Nicole Eggert?
I did not see it.
Mm.
How was it? Truth came out?
I don't
Truth
know.
bomb?
I mean, it was so tense, and you could see she was all sad from it.
That's sometimes
It's not
right.
the kind of
Was
it's not the kind
Kelly-
of dish I like. Megyn Kelly is like a fucking Nazi as it is. You know what I mean? Like, she's not a fun person to begin with.
She's kind of a Tom Brady in many ways.
She's the news answer to Tom Brady. Yeah. Tom Brady's a stiff fuck too.
Yeah.
He's uncomfortable.
He's a creep. I've been watching Tom versus Time, and he's just weird.
Tom versus time. Tom versus time. I heard he's not going to do that radio show for calling his kid a pissant.
Yeah.
What is a pissant? It's not an ant, right?
I thought it was an ant covered in piss.
No.
No, I thought it was just maybe an ant who is pissy, like an angry little.
Oh, I don't
fire
think it's a
ant.
pissant.
Oh,
Vito, why do you sit and watch the show? Why don't you fucking look up the word meaning? You could be the guy.
you could be Mr. Dictionary.
Or Pictionary. Draw us a picture of what it means and see if we can get it.
It's an insignificant or contemptible person or
Jesus
thing.
Christ. This reminds me of school when fucking Kevin Shaw had to fucking read out loud.
Insignificant.
Yeah.
So that's like not
His
even.
4-year-old is insignificant.
Yeah, that's not really nice.
The 4-year-old didn't even
I
know
mean,
the documentary.
I thought that they were saying that the little kid was like just being bad and being shitty, but this is just like, who gives a shit about this
doesn't bring
kid?
anything to the fucking show. Tom versus time. Tom versus time. Did you see there's going to be a Go-Go's musical?
No,
Yeah.
I'll go to it.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe we can get them on the show. How many comedians do you know? I noticed you got Doug Stanhope for your special.
I met 51 comedians.
One more, huh?
Just one more comedian.
You have
What if-
you have that big white shark out there, somebody that you really want to get. Who is it, Jay Leno? What was it?
Maybe get a Letterman just to finish it up.
Are you serious? I would love it if you got Letterman.
I would love it too.
Top 10 reasons the Eagles are going to lose.
Oh, if he said that, I'd just hang up on him.
Or you get Seinfeld. What's the deal? How come there's a halftime show, not a quarter time show? We got a small combo for a quarter time show. I'm not even looking forward to the fucking halftime show this year. As far as I'm concerned, we're getting 1/5 of a really fucking cool boy band. Time after time. Fuck it, you fuckhead.
remember the lyrics are like that.
Yeah, well, I remember the lyrics because I was around in the 80s, man. You know what I mean? I called them the Go-Go 80s, and that's why the Go-Go's were so great.
I was around, but I was just a little guy.
Let me tell you something, man. Fucking Reagan years, okay? Huey Lewis in the news took the fucking stage. I want a new drug. We all went, yeah, fuck yeah, no drugs.
Damn.
In fucking 2 weeks' times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within a 2-week period, I saw Phil Collins and Genesis.
Whoa. How?
It was a double tour that they were doing. Like one night he would do himself, one night he's Genesis, one night he's doing himself,
Sounds exhausting.
one night he's doing himself, one night he's Genesis. One night he's doing himself. Hey, I just invited Larry in to talk drag race with you one day.
Oh, nice. I would
said
love
he
that.
would love it. He said he'll never go anywhere uninvited. He has to be invited in, though, especially. I'm the same way. I don't like when people say, just drop by. I go, fuck you. No, I don't go that far with it, but I know what it's
You
like.
want to be booked. You
I
want
want to be
be
booked. And, Chris, you're supposed to book me on some other shows you haven't done dick about. I forgot whose, but I told you to book me on some shows. People have asked me. And I'm like, you have to go through Chris. He's my baby boy. Baby boy. Baby boy. Chris Stanley, you're my big old baby boy.
I like that song.
You guys are close.
We are.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're so close.
Yeah.
It's
I don't,
like,
hear,
go ahead.
I don't hear anyone else being your baby boy.
That was a stupid thing to say.
Why? How
could've
could you
fucking-
hear that?
You could have just let the big fucking joke I had planned go in. and wrote it down.
But instead, he made it specifically, as always, an anti-veto
Can I
thing.
just? I don't even like to bring up stuff, but I will here. Do you know what Doug Stanhope and Bingo said to me about Chris Stanley?
No.
They said that fucktard got into our stuff, including things that were given to us as gifts by Mr. Howard Stern.
What?
And they go, if I ever see that fucktard again,
He said that twice.
yeah, it'll be through my attorney. And then he handed me a card with his attorney's name on it.
Oh, shit.
I handed him back a Subway card. I said, if this makes up for it all, there's one already plugged off there. So you only got to buy 8 more. I go, what did Baby Boy do to you? He didn't puke on you, did you?
He spits up sometimes.
Yeah, he's just a little spittle. I call it spittle, but I always keep a fucking bar towel on me whenever I'm burping him. I tell you about Chris's new thing that he's into.
Mm-mm.
He's a dancer. He dances. He just gets himself going.
That's my thing.
Is it Chris? Or is it somebody else's thing and you just copied it? Lying in. Uh-oh, you all right, Vito?
Uh-oh.
I'm good.
Saw you
What
coughing over there.
I got a little cough. I've been drinking a lot of pure vitamin C to just fix it.
Something isn't going to fix it. If anything, it's going to spread it.
Oh,
You'll be coughing out your ass before you know it, my friend.
that sounds nice.
If that spreads, I'm going to take you to my doctor, House. Ba-ba-bum. Well, I don't want to talk about any of these stories. Yeah, the 80s. That's what I was talking about. So fucking good. Parachute pants, man. Ah, fuck. Felt like you're wearing a parachute around. You know?
Comfortable.
Were they, Chris? Or were they frightening that a big wind would come up? Can I just tell you something to you, Chris? You wouldn't have made it in the 80s.
I don't think I would have.
I can't even see you watching MTV.
What's with all these music videos?
Who's your favorite MTV host? The original 5.
Mark Goodman.
Really? Vito?
The Wheeze?
What's he talking about? That wasn't a host.
Who's the
Pauly
MTV
Shore
Spring
wasn't. I
Break.
thought Pauly Shore was the host.
Oh my God. First of all, he wasn't an original. Second of all, he wasn't an official host.
I'm
He was
sorry.
just a guy wheezing around, man.
I was born in
How about you?
'92.
I could
So
be
what?
wrong.
No, the fucking Civil War is, right? Never fucking use an excuse that you weren't born sometime. That drives me crazy.
I'm not remembering if this is from original cast, but I'm going to go out on a limb.
Mm.
Downtown Julie Brown.
No.
Shit.
Secondary cast.
Good,
There's only-
good cast though. Come on.
There was only, if you were taking all the hosts in the history of MTV, only one stands there as a bright, shining star, and I'll still put on the 80s on 8 to listen to Miss Martha Quinn.
Oh, that's the perfect answer. She
She's
is
the best.
Yeah, and she is original gangsta.
She's OG, and she's still doing it today. To me, if I had a fucking friendly voice on the air, my whole life would be better. You know what I mean? But I'm not. The whole thing of like when you're broadcasting, people want to be with you.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I'm the guy they want to get away from. I'm the kind of guy at a party people go, I'll be right back. And I never see them again. And they'll go like this. I'm going to the bar. Can I get you something? Knowing they're heading to their car. And they think that if they tell me they're getting me a fucking rum and cocoa. That's what I have. I have rum and cocos.
Like hot cocoa?
I think it makes me stand out as a personality.
Yeah, it does, but I think the bartenders might find that a little annoying. To have to whip up some hot
What a
cocoa.
bartender. I don't give a fuck what a bartender does. Start and fucking get the cocoa going, my friend. You're a bartender, aren't you? You should have plenty of fucking cocoa back there. I call my drink my hot cocoa beware. Nikki Glazer Unmasked happening next Monday, February 5th, 5 p.m. at the SiriusXM studios and terrabang.com for a chance at free tickets. Now, are we putting together our Super Bowl Minnesota bit? The bands of Minnesota?
Yes, we are. Yes, after the show today.
After the show today.
Yes.
But tonight I have to go out and with Mr. Dan Perlman at Sweet Caroline. Here comes Dan, and he's got some jokes for you.
Yeah.
For you, for you, for you. He called me last night. God, it had to be 3 o'clock in the morning.
What?
And he said, would you look at these new props that I bought for my comedy act?
He's doing
I go,
props.
Dad, I gotta fucking sleep, you know? So finally, he just sends me a thing. It says airplane food, right? And I took a look at it, and it's like a model airplane with 2 pieces of bread.
I think that's gonna go over though.
I just gave him the laughing and crying emoji, and I rolled back over. You know? Look, everybody, airplane food. What else do I got in this bag? I didn't think there is a young comedian doing props today. I think that's wide open, Vito.
I was at an open mic years ago, and there was a prop comic, but he was not young. I mean, it was like an older guy who wanted to make a go at something he wanted
He's
to do.
holding on to the pest.
And he came out not only with some props, but one of them, I wish I could remember what the actual prop was, but I do remember it was a racist Asian thing. And then he like held his eyes back and did a Chinese voice. So it couldn't have been
He's
more
a thinking man's prop comic.
dated.
Oh, what are you doing here?
And he was an older gentleman.
Yeah.
And everyone was just kind of shocked by him.
I'm not. No one ever knows this, but props are short for property.
Property comic.
Somebody says to me, they go, "You're a prop comic?" I go, "Hey, I'm a property comic till you get to know me a little better." Okay? But right up front, property comic. If somebody calls me Mr. Bennington, I always go like this. "Hey, my dad's Mr. Bennington. I'm Mr. Bennington Jr." Now, let's check into that hotel, shall we? How do we get this going? Name. Well, we just discussed it. You know, don't you like if somebody has to fill out a fucking form and they do it out loud? Address. Got it right here. 610 Spruce. Dude, we're all in the fucking waiting room here together. I can't. I'm trying to put my own address in. I just wrote in yours. Oh, God, listen to him. I'm so worried about
I know.
you,
The
Chris.
two of them are
Two
really.
of them are blowing each other.
They're lungers.
Yeah, they are lungers. I'll tell you what, we got 2 fresh interns that are ready to jump into those positions.
I won't cough near them to keep them safe.
Look, there's a fucking thing. Flats has a friend who somehow I'm on a group thing about buying Super Bowl tickets. And there's no way and it sounds like it comes with a girl.
What? It's all inclusive?
Yeah. It sounds like you get a girl. She's 5'4", about 115 pounds. Doesn't make sense. I'm not fucking falling for this.
Also, like, can't I just have 2 tickets and invite whoever I want? I've got to go with this girl?
He also says that I get a pass to the winner's locker room after the game. How could that fucking be?
Is he scamming you?
Of course he is. He's been scamming me for years. I'm just writing back. Who do I make the check out to? I just don't like my Sunday is going to be much more comfortable than going all the way there, fucking going through security, all that,
Getting into the
gonna
stadium.
watch the fucking game. I'm going to think about the game 5 minutes before the game comes on, not 3 days before. Travel is so uncomfortable. I mean, the whole reason to travel is to relax.
Yeah.
I don't care where you go. If I'm going to the Bahamas, it takes forever before it's relaxing time. And if I'm going to Western Mass, I'm still driving the same amount of things, and the fuck is this? What the fuck is with this thing? Was I supposed to get off there? I just want to relax. That's it. But it's not even relaxing to stay at your house. You think you should be somewhere else. You're fucked.
What about people who have like super active outdoorsy vacations? Like that's what they do with their time off rather than.
I can't imagine. Like people go on hiking vacations or like canoeing vacations. I'm like, that seems fucking insane to
Well,
me.
canoeing is.
Yeah,
I was. You're not paddling the whole time.
To be honest, you just named two things that are pretty relaxing. But I was thinking more like mountain climbing.
Yeah, that's what he thinks hiking is. He doesn't know what hiking is. Walking the fucking trail. It's nice.
Yeah,
I don't want to walk a trail. I want to hang out.
Hiking is literally walking, but instead of the city, it's on like somewhere pretty.
Here's what Chris wants to do. He wants to fucking take a vacation to a furniture store and just get every fucking lazy boy there is.
That sounds great. It sounds very comfortable.
Well, it's not feasible. They're not going to let you spend a week in a fucking furniture store. Plus, people are shopping.
I'll help them shop. Like, hey, this isn't a comfortable chair. Maybe we should think about buying it.
You know, I was watching this documentary, and they were saying that
sounds great.
The reason they have a theory that the reason that some people are more thrill seeking versus other people who like to be comfortable is a specific exposure while you're in the womb to testosterone. So people who were like receptive to this amount of testosterone or got more testosterone in the womb later become more thrill seeking people and want to do things like skydive and mountain climb and stuff like that.
They don't want to skin dive? What is that called when you go underwater? Scuba dive?
Scuba dive? They could, yeah.
Didn't they say skin something though?
Skim boarding? Are you saying
That's
skim?
No.
Skinny dipping?
You're saying skim.
Probably thinking skinny dipping.
Skin
Skin tag.
surfing.
I was thinking of a skin tag. You should take those
I think
off.
skin surfing might be sex.
You know what? How about I take my vacation like this? I stab myself in the neck. That's how much testosterone I had. Let me just tell you something about the Super Bowl this weekend. I want everybody to enjoy the Super Bowl. Okay?
Yeah.
But let's remember the reason for the season. Jesus Christ. Let's not take the Christ out of Super Bowl. Okay? Let's put him back in there.
Do you think that rather than make a big deal about the national anthem, maybe have, I don't know, the Stations of the Cross or something like that?
Well, what I would like to do, and I'm glad you brought it up, I'd like to do an international anthem, okay? Where we play every song from every country so nobody gets left out. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris. You're on a bit, and I don't want to interrupt it. You're on a flow. Tell us the funny joke. I can't wait.
Oh, no, I was just asking if...
No. Go ahead.
If you heard that the line is down to 4.5 now for the game.
Well, same as it was yesterday?
I thought it was 5 yesterday.
No, you told us 4.5 yesterday. Fuck, 4.5. Where are we going to get that other extra half point? I'm not even going to ask you how you're going to root, Chris. I'm not going to pay any attention to you or Vito.
Yeah.
Vito's not much of a fucking gambler. It's the problem with him. I got 52 comics that'll tell me the truth. All part of our big game extravaganza. We're not allowed to say Super Bowl, right?
No, we're not. No, it's big game.
Okay. We'll say big game then. The big game on Sunday. And try to stay away from Johnny Law that way if we can. Your Honor, this person said the word Super Bowl. So we brought him in here. And
That is what it's called, though.
I won $1,800,000 from him. I mean, we talk about certain words you can't say. Has anyone ever been sued for saying Super Bowl?
I don't know. I've known this for a long time that other networks have to say the big game, but I don't know if there has ever been a case of, they use the SB word. They're in trouble.
Your Honor, when my client was about to say Super Bowl, he meant to say Superman. And he fucked up in a big way and said Bowl. So can you please not send him to jail? Because he's not just a man. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a lover. Did I tell you I brought Bonnie up that way?
No.
Yeah. Bonnie's like, do me a favor. Don't take too long to bring me up there. And I go, I'll give you the longest fucking introduction you've ever had. So I go through all of our accomplishments. And first I'm like this. I go, these other comedians, they just tell jokes. I go, I spit on the fucking floor when I hear jokes. And I start to go, this next person's not just a joke teller. I go through the writing of the book and the directing. And then I go like this. She is not just a comedian. She is a wife. She is a mother. And she is a lover. Spotty McFarlane. So then I thought, I'm more proud of myself. And she goes up. She goes, yeah, a wife and a mother. Thanks for being a cock block, Ron. Now I can't get anything going up here. She was so hilariously funny the other night. And she had this ending bit that was brutally funny. And I said, man, that was amazing. And she goes, you know what? Tonight I decided to try. She goes, I had a long talk with myself last night, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try my night.
It's good.
Try as she did, Chris. Try as she did. So, what are we saying? Nikki Glazer next week?
Yeah, next week. Next Monday, February 5th, 5 p.m. here at the SiriusXM studios, theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
I like these people to start and think about SiriusXM as being their home away from home.
Yeah.
No one ever brings up it's your away from away, but I've had that before. I've been away, and then you go a little further away. And you're like, that's too far back to get to my away
I
place.
missed that other away.
Yeah. I want to fly. Hey. Who did that song, Vito? Or weren't you fucking born in time like you fucking made up your thing before? Oh, I never heard of the Civil War. I wasn't born then. Yankees, rebels, slaves. What do you mean? Tell you what I mean, Vito. I mean, it's fucking history, not her story. Okay?
I get that.
History is the study of man.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
History is the gal behind the guy, you know? The one who makes sure that his shirt's tucked in or his Coke is put in his watch pocket. I want to fly. You excited about the game, Vito?
The big
or are you
game?
playing fucking bocce with a couple ankles? Yeah. What's your plans for the big game? You going in with Chris?
No, I don't know what I'm doing for the big game yet. One of my friends just hit me up today.
What do you mean he hit you up?
He texted me.
He beat
Just
you
say
about
that.
the face.
Why do you make it fucking groovy? Did he invite you somewhere?
No, he just asked me what I was doing, and I said I didn't know
Why do you
yet.
take that as such a fucking compliment? You're hearing from another loser that's asking me, hey, a friend of mine hit me up, so we'll see what's happening. Probably going to score some fucking pin.
Ian's a good dude.
What's that?
Ian's a good dude.
Who cares, Vito? Stop derailing us, all right?
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do on the Super Bowl or big game day. Just sit and wonder where your life went wrong. You know what he told me today?
What did he say?
He can't book his mom to come in.
Really? Oh, sounds like she's just fucking scared of me, Ron.
Why wouldn't she be? We're all scared of you.
Good.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking snap any moment.
Because she don't know shit about the Godfather trivia.
No, she's just a busy lady.
She's afraid of me. Just let her call and tell her that I'm afraid of you,
Should
Chris.
we just forfeit this?
We should make him fucking have a mustache and pound milkshakes every day.
It's not
I'd say
to pound them.
Just
Yeah, the jive talk with you two.
Jive talking. For somebody who doesn't know about the 80s, you're living in the fucking 70s, bro.
Jive talking. You wear a disguise.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I never make it that far in the song.
I think for some reason they're wearing a disguise. Because they're jive talking
But
so.
it's one of the worst things that you could have been told back in those days is stop talking that jive, or even worse, hey, jive turkey, this ain't Thanksgiving.
Did people say that?
Not one that I've ever heard in my life. Not outside of TV, embed, like kind of movies. Like you'll never watch a Scorsese movie where somebody's like, "Don't be jive with me, man. Don't go talking that jive." No, we were talking about the big Super Bowl show. Do you remember Justin Timberlake's record company when he broke in.
Mhm.
Jive Records and Tapes.
Oh shit!
That was the record company that delivered those boy bands.
Oh, really?
Jive. And I'm like, don't you fucking see it, kids? It's right there in front of you.
That was that guy from Orlando who just made boy bands.
O-Town.
Yeah.
No one brings up that O-Town was probably the best out of all those groups.
Yeah. What was like the parody? It was like a parody show about making a boy band.
It was called Molested. Chris' favorite boy band.
98 Degrees.
Gail?
Can like it be an older boy? It has to be
Old
from
as you want it.
Jackson 5.
They were a boy band. That is true. Vito?
Backstreet Boys.
None of you guys are the same boys the men on a fucking Philly countdown weekend. We should be doing Philly countdown weekend, not fucking Minnesota countdown weekend. I was actually thinking that Prince would have been so excited with the Super Bowl. He was a giant Vikings fan.
He was, yeah.
The biggest Vikings fan that ever lived. This would have killed him. The Bills didn't. Isn't it weird that opiates killed Prince and Tom Petty, two guys that we didn't even worry about?
Yeah.
You know?
Both were so shocking.
I've never been that fucking shocked in my life. What happened? I haven't. Hey, Chris, we need to take a break here, okay?
Okay.
And then don't go away, because I promise we'll come right back and wrap things up. Bennington.
Hashtag Bennington. Come wet your beak.
Show. Let Chris Stanley tell you how you can come to the next Unmasked.
Nikki Glazer Unmasked. That's happening next Monday, February 5th at 5 p.m. at the SiriusXM studios. You go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets for Nikki Glazer Unmasked.
Now, Chris Stanley, you were around here today, and I only saw him when I come in. And who was the celebrity with a dog today?
That was Dylan McDermott.
Now, we all know Dylan McDermott. He's been around for 20 years?
Yeah.
Incredibly attractive guy then, incredibly attractive guy now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming out of the elevator. He's heading in. His dog is with him, service dog. Not on a leash, just running around having a nice time. Nice, cute dog. Why does this fucking guy need a service dog? What's wrong with him?
I believe it's for anxiety is the
Bullshit.
Is the service
What's he
dog.
got fucking to be anxious about? Having a hit TV show, being attractive, having women fall in love with him without him doing anything?
What makes him anxious? His good bone structure?
Yeah. Fucking Vito should have a service dog, if anybody, you know? Vito should be able to be pulled around by fucking Eskimo fucking pack team. Seriously, he doesn't get a service dog. I would fucking say that right off the bat. Your life is too good to get a service dog. And look, if you have a service dog, it shouldn't be running around having fun. You should be like, I need to hold on to this dog because I'm on the edge, man.
I know, because sometimes people say that they have a service dog, but you can see the dog's not even properly trained.
No, this
So
is
you're like-
this is a mutt. This was a fucking mutt. I'm not even making that up. It was not like a dog that was watching him. It was a dog that was minding its own business.
Just being a dog and not providing any service, you're saying.
Now, this fucking service dog thing is fairly new. But I remember when I was younger, I had this friend, Dan. And he had a fucking dog that he just loved and used to put a kerchief on around his neck like he was partying all the time. And you know what Dan named his dog? Dan. And a lot of times we'd be at his house partying, he'd go like this. Look at Dan. It's fucking great. And now, in hindsight, I'm like, that dude had a service dog.
Yeah, he needed the kinship.
He needed that.
Yeah.
He needed to look at Dan. And the fact that he named it after himself even makes more
Right.
He's like, Dan is great. Dan's doing okay.
Dan is a good boy.
Dan's a good boy. Look, Dan's taking a shit outside, he'd say.
Look at Dan.
I go, your dog isn't even with you. He goes, I wasn't talking about that, Dan.
Yeah, people really push the service dog privileges to the limit because I know someone who got her dog service dog certified, which just is like you pay a fee so she can fly with him and do. He is not a good dog. He's a bad dog. He's not trained.
You gotta buy a fucking seat for that dog?
No. It's a little dog, so she can just like keep him on her lap.
I'm gonna be totally honest here. I'd be happy if somebody I was on a plane with had a dog next to me. I'm like, yeah.
Now I'm getting some of the service.
I'm getting some of the service and none of the cost or problems. Chris goes like this. This is my cervix dog. And
Chris?
he showed me a dog that was having puppies.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I thought it was like a funny joke.
Weren't you going to bring up something else to me? I forgot what it was, though.
Oh, Mr. Rogers has been cast in the Mr. Rogers movie.
Mr. Rogers has been cast to play himself?
No.
You're not making sense. This fucking story that you're breaking stinks.
You just said Mr. Rogers has been cast in the Mr. Rogers.
That would be like me saying this. Abraham Lincoln has been cast in the new Abraham Lincoln movie. Steven Spielberg makes it. Who's making a fucking movie about Mr. Rogers? And is this going to be the dullest movie that's ever happened?
No, it's going to be like a sweet story about this man who's...
Yes, we all know. All you got to do is watch one fucking episode.
He's the best guy going, but I won't see this movie because Fred Rogers makes me cry. Just like the thought of him, his good
Does
deeds.
this end with him dying?
I'm sure it does.
It was a beautiful day.
No! Fred!
Beautiful day. I'm not feeling good. Could you save me? Please save me. I think they said the what happened to him, the way that he was killed, is that he was hit by a small train. He had walked in front of it.
Mariel Heller is directing this film, this biopic.
Who the hell is that?
She's also directed Diary of a Teenage Girl.
Oh my God, you know too much, my friend. Now, who's starring in this?
Tom Hanks will be Mr. Rogers.
Is this Mr. Rogers or Splash? I don't see this as a movie.
Well, I mean, there was the dramatic, the court scene when he does that, and that was pretty intense.
I don't remember that.
I mean, he spoke in front of. You'll have to look it up, but it was like he was trying to keep funding for PBS, and it was. No, it's not like a court case. It was like him at the Supreme Court or the Senate. But maybe he spoke in front of the Senate. I don't know.
He's speaking in front of everywhere. Just fucking give it a rest, Fred.
You're on
But
TV
he
already.
never found a bride, right? He never had a wife.
I don't think there was a Mrs. Rogers.
We'll have to find out. He's cast in a brand new movie about himself. Why is this something you come running in with anyway, Chris? What gives you the fucking right?
It's breaking news, Ron. They call me Breaking News Boy. I didn't even know his first name was Fred.
How do you not know?
What?
He used to say, it's me, Fred Rogers.
I never watched Mr. Rogers as a kid.
What?
Not a lot of PBS in the Stanley household.
Oh my God. I loved PBS as a kid. Fred Rogers and Sesame Street.
In that order. Hey, did you guys play HQ last night?
I did not play HQ.
Guess what? Guess who co-hosted HQ? Did any of you guys watch it?
I didn't watch it. No, I didn't play
Okay,
last
we're
night.
going to have 20 questions
Oh my
with Ron
God.
Bennington. Welcome back to 20 questions. 20 questions to go. Welcome back to 20 questions. Would you like some blow? We're doing coke. We're doing H. We're making speedballs now. Oh no, a friend of mine OD'd and I can't wake her up. Welcome back to 20 questions, everybody. Now, last night was the game of HQ, pronounced who. Who was the person who co-hosted? Chris Stangley? You get the first question.
Was it a woman?
He knew. That's 1 down, 19 to go. I'm going to look over at Veto, what do you got?
Has this person been on the show before?
On what show? HQ?
On Bennington show before.
Oh,
Fuck.
I'm going to give it to you, Vito, even though you fucked up pretty bad. No.
Is this person an actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris.
Is this person a comedian?
Not a stand-up comedian, no.
Okay.
Vito.
Has this person
5.
Has this person been in a movie this year?
I don't believe so. It could be. I don't know. Watch these stupid movies.
Is this person a television personality?
Known that way, yes.
Is this person Caucasian?
No, I wouldn't say that.
God.
And if you get caught up in that, it might be a mistake. Get caught up in race would be a mistake.
Oh.
Is this person on SNL?
No.
To get caught up in race would be a mistake. Is that because this person is an animal?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. Now, I'm going to give you a hint. It's 9, and we're almost halfway. No, Chris will be 10, so it's halfway through. Here's the hint. This person was dressed exactly like Lag Daddy.
Okay. Lag
It's
Daddy
the
wears a
person
suit.
who was on HQ last night, co-hosting. I say co-hosting. I'm going to quite be honest here. I felt like slowing shit down.
Were they physically in the game with him?
Yes, Chris, physically.
All right. I don't know. Maybe it was like
I mean,
a
I was-
split screen feed.
No, he had a thought, and that was it. Jesus Christ.
Is it a sitcom star?
No,
Is this person a late night host?
no, definitely not.
Is this person a professional wrestler?
No, Chris.
Is this person had done any modeling?
To my knowledge, no.
Is this person known for daytime or morning
Yes.
TV?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're 15 now.
Shit, fuck.
Is it Matt Lauer?
It's really funny. No,
Dressed in suits.
16.
Do they co-host a daytime show?
No, 17.
Is this a show for kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it Paul F. Tompkins?
What?
I'm sick of asking questions. I gotta throw out fucking.
Are you listening to everyone else's questions? And he just said he wasn't a stand-up comedian.
He does act though, so maybe.
So
Hold on.
maybe I just threw the rest of it out. I would take nothing away from Paul F. Tompkins. Let this be known. I adore that man, and I look forward to anything that he does. This is question 20. Vito, you're the last person who gets to ask the question, so don't blow it, and then everybody will get a chance to answer what they think it is.
Is it a character and not a person?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. So I want to take a moment.
Great fucking question.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
After that stupid Paul F. Tompkins thing, you brought.
Okay. So this is a character. We've established kids. It came post Fred Rogers conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to. I have to go first, right? Shit, I wish I was picking up the sticks.
You know
All
what?
right.
Here, I'm going to let you pick up the sticks because you never got a last question.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2
Okay, great.
answers.
All right, I'm going to throw it out there first.
Yes.
Is this person Elmo?
No.
Is it Mario Cantone?
No.
He
Was he on
just said he was a character.
Well,
He just
yes, I know it's a character, but didn't he do like some kid show?
he said as opposed to a person. So
Yeah,
this
but-
thing is a character
I
for a
guess the-
TV
Is
and
the character
children.
played by
No.
Mario? Okay. Really thought I fucking had it.
It ain't fucking Steam Pipe Alley, you fucker.
That's what I was thinking.
Go ahead.
Is it Oscar the Grouch?
No.
Okay. Can I just say this? Me and Vito are on the
Yes,
right track,
yes,
and Chris
yes.
is not. Okay.
Yes.
So now I have one more guess, and I'm trying to think big. Hold on. You said dress the same. We got to talk this out.
You've got the right show.
I've got the right show.
And there's a team on that show. It's just a matter of you guessing the right person in that team.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so I know the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just say, because I don't think it's in his wheelhouse, and I think it would be more appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bert.
Gail Bennington wins.
Yeah!
And major assist to fucking Vito for saying a character. I mean, when you got this lump over here, Chris Stanley yelling out Mary. At one point, he said Paul Newman.
He said Matt Lauer. Like, why would that be a good move for HQ?
Morning television. I thought, maybe he's getting back into the world.
Children's television show host Matt Lauer.
It'd be great if he got back.
No one's coming back from the Me Too unit. They're taking people up behind a dumpster, putting two in the back of their head. Yes, it was Bert.
Nice. I'm glad I remembered the suit. Because bitch almost cast Big Bird. It was real close.
Carlos says, does this person have a hand up his ass? That would have been very helpful. What a day. So we got to wrap this one up. We're going to have two different specials running over the weekend. One is the Comedians Pick the Big Game. And the other one is going to be Minneapolis Rock and Roll, which was a great scene. What, 80s?
Yes.
80s Minneapolis.
Who's your favorite band from that whole scene?
I'm going to say Prince.
Not mine. Mine is the Replacements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could listen to the Replacements any fucking time. Prince, I got to be in a sassy mood. You got something you want to plug there, huh, Chris, tonight?
Oh, yeah, Ron, you'll be at Caroline's Comedy Club tonight, at carolines.com for tickets. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Use the code DAN.
That's early.
For discounted tickets. carolines.com tonight, 7:30.
That should be fun. And that's it for us.
That's
Back here tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Next week is an Unmasked with the very, very funny Nikki Glazer. Go to theinterrobang.com. That's the ibang.com to get it on free tickets. And that's it for us. Gail, when are we going to see everybody again?
In 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!